All right, race fans, it's time for our first member challenge race, the last race day of the year. We just rolled off from the North Pit, and the cars are griding up behind the pace car, coming down the South Straight, doing a warm-up and formation lap, getting a little heat in those tires, getting some heat in those brakes. We've got 30 cars in the field. We've got beautiful weather, blue skies, autumn leaves. Monticello is putting on a show today. Mother Nature and the Catskills came with their A game, and these drivers also bringing their A game. This is Member Challenge race number 1. We have another race coming up directly after this one, but these cars are forming up behind the pace car and getting ready for lights out and green flag action next time by. The grid is forming up, and I'll tell you, we had a fantastic GT4 race this morning, won by Reggie Tartaglione. And we're going to be running 2 packs here in this member challenge like we always do. 2 pace cars, classes 1 through 3, R1 through R3. And I'll tell you, the storylines write themselves, ladies and gentlemen. Today, on the front row, for the first time ever, we have a husband and wife on the front row in their first race ever as Monticello members. And Stephanie, his wife, is on the pole out front with Matt, her husband, outside front row. Right behind her in the big orange Janetta, the Hammer of Thor, Alex Panlilio. Outside him is Adam Klein, who is carrying our onboard camera today. We'll be switching some in-car action. We'll be on board with Adam Klein at the start. Right behind him, on row 3, we've got Alan Teo in the mighty camouflage McLaren Artura. On the outside of row 3 is Rudy Pistoli in the world's angriest M2. Right behind him, Sean McAuliffe, last year's GT4 champion and today's runner-up in the GT4 race this morning, followed by Lou Janello. And then Cole Cognazzi outside is Melissa Barthelms, followed up by Charlie Craig and Dan Feldstein. In the next row, it's John Petchauer and Mario Verna, followed by Bob Kim and Jason Cohen. The last R3 cars are Greg Coakley and Robert out there in the 84 car in 18th position. The second pack led up by Johnny Kaminsky as usual. On the outside of that front row is Owen Barthelms, followed by Manny T and Brent Coakley. It's going to be an exciting afternoon of racing here at Monticello. The crowd is on its feet as the pace car comes through Cryptos, headed to the hairpin. I am excited to see this husband and wife Ferrari Challenge team on the front row. What is going to happen in turn 1 when they go green? A pair of mighty 488 Challenge Evos on the front, followed up by that Janetta. You see him coming through the hairpin corner. There's Lou Janello in the Pink Floyd Porsche. And as always, fantastic drone work being brought to you by Monticello Media Team led by Chris Chapala, as well as Tim and Bill and Ray Benora. These guys have been working hard all day, all week to put together a fantastic broadcast for you, and we are very happy with these results. We'll be green flag in just a second. They're coming around the S's. It's lights out, and it'll be green flag in mere moments as they come under the bridge. They're headed towards the skid pad, taking that right-hander and then the final left onto the South Straight as we get ready for green flag racing action. 2 Ferraris on the front row, the Herfields, Mr. and Mrs. Herfield, and a pair of matching 488s headed down to Montreal. Waiting for that pace car to dive in. Lights are out on the pace car as Dyke Henson gathers the pace car up and throws the Supra into pit lane, waiting for the green flag, and we are green flag racing. Green, green, green as the Herfields head down into turn 1. Stephanie's got a good line, and she tucks it in, and she maintains first place as Matt tucks in behind her. The 2 Ferraris out front. Adam Klein looking for an opening there. Sean McAuliffe and Rudy dropping back, losing some positions. Very uncharacteristic of the Pistoli machine. Rudy dropping back several spaces on that start. Didn't get what he wanted in turn 2. as Stephanie leads the pack up through the carousel, and Group 2 headed down to get their race started now. Class R4 led by Johnny Kaminsky, ready to take the green, and they are underway as Johnny leads them into the patience corner. The big neon Mazda ND2. He's been out front all season. He's the current club champion, and he's showing you why as he leads pack number 2 up through into the carousel. Kaminsky has been tough all season. Let's check in with Adam Klein back at the front pack. Adam Klein in 4th gear, headed down the straightaway, 120, 130. He is on power, looking at the kink, downhill into the right-hander, looking for the braking zone. Adam Klein on brake now, looking right up into the switchback, trying to close the gap there. Excellent work in there. You can see. Oh my goodness, this is great in-car action as the cars run up through to Kryptos, and there's Stephanie leading the group through the hairpin, and now she's back to power heading up the North Straight. Matt on her tail, trying to close the gap, trying to keep contact with her as all these Porsches go through the hairpin corner, one after another. Just a ton of Stuttgart machines, and Rudy not having the race he wanted. Rudy still losing positions. The Ferraris are looking good out front, though. And now Johnny bringing pack number 2, trying to wrap up lap number 1 as pack number 2 heads into the hairpin. And now you'll see Stephanie leading the group onto the front straight and down under the bridge as these Ferraris thunder into Montreal, followed by the Ginetta. Alex Panlilio being coached up by Jason Lair tucks it in to Montreal. Expert line looking good as a ton of Porsches come down the straightaway trying to maintain contact with the leaders. They're strung out front as Stephanie continues to pace the field. The Ferraris are looking strong early on. These 488s are very quick. Excellent handling machines running out of North Pit today. Let's check back in on Adam Klein. Adam Klein looking good, trying to get some action there with Sean McAuliffe. And McAuliffe, no stranger to championship winning. He's been rocking that GT4 all day today, and Adam Klein is right up in his chimneys trying to get around him as they head down into the Pine Tree corner. Coming out of Pine Tree, Adam Klein tucking up, looking for the right-hander onto the straightaway as Stephanie stretches the legs on that 488. Matt trying to maintain contact, and the mighty Ginetta of Alex Panlilio going down into the braking zone with him. Alan Teo looking good. Adam Klein looking good. Rudy Pistoli losing a bunch of spots on the start. Looks like Rudy is in the pits. Rudy not having the race he wanted. I'm sure he's disappointed, and he'll head back, talk to his coach, work on his car, and I hope he's ready for race number 2 as Stephanie rounds the hairpin onto the North Straight, heading upfield now as Sean McAuliffe tries to cover off Adam Klein. Klein tucking it right up behind Sean McAuliffe. Look at this drone work from Chris Chapala. Excellent camera angles. And now you see Adam Klein tucking in behind Sean McAuliffe for the double left-hander downhill, coming around our world-class karting complex. Speaking of karting, if you want something for your kids to do while you're out at the club driving the cars on the big track, our world-class karting facility headed up by Mike Poe is always there for adults and kids to have a great afternoon of wheel-to-wheel action. Alan Teo leads that McLaren under the bridge as the R4 cars get to the hairpin. Brent Coakley looking good. John Marcato running good as well. And there comes one of our high points drivers, and Mike Leo looking good out there today, turning in his usual fantastic performance. These camera angles through the carousel are fantastic. The Monticello media team working hard. Johnny Kaminsky coming around, heading on to the South Straight in that big neon ND2. And he's heading under the bridge. Still the leader of Class R4. Out front in clean air, turning some great laps. Let's check in with our in-car camera again with Adam Klein. He's still right up in Sean McAuliffe's mirrors as they head to the right-hander looking to go onto the main straight. They're both trying to close the gap. A little kick up there as these guys are getting very close to the apex. Alan Teo scaring the white off the cones in that McLaren, getting really close to that apex as the leaders are into the braking and headed up the switchback. Stephanie Herfield in her first race ever as a Monticello member, leading the race, starting from pole and leading the race. We are down to 18.5 minutes. We're 6.5 minutes into this race. 18 minutes to go. Can she hang on? Matt trying to close the gap now. He's getting a little bit closer. We're down to less than a half a second separating husband from wife, wife from husband, first from second. It's going to be an amazing finish, I figure. There's Cole Cognazi, your current points leader, being followed by Lou Janello through the hairpin. There's Charlie Craig and Melissa Barthelms and Chris Rondan. Adam Klein working hard in that Cayman GT4 Club Sport. Big on the brakes as he looks to that right-hander as all the Miatas head down to the braking zone. Fantastic, clean race as you hear that Janetta thunder by the clubhouse into Montreal. Alex Panlilio trying to close the gap on this Ferraris. Got huge power. His car just came together at the last second. Put it on the track this morning for some initial shakedown practice, and the car's performing great in the early stages here, as well as the driver. Both performing fantastically as Steffi leads those Ferraris up into the carousel. Still out front. Matt unable to do anything with his wife. He can't get around her. She has a lot of poise out there in her first race. Look at these drone shots. Look at Monticello. The grass is green. The leaves are turning. It's a beautiful 63 degrees here. Where would you rather be than this little slice of heaven in the Catskills, watching some amazing sports car racing? As the cars come around the carousel, looking at our fantastic service center and our private garages, available to store your car at any time. Just call concierge or your account executive if you need some more space for your toys. Now, taking a look down here at Montreal Turn 1, Turn 2 by the lofts. Also, just look at those trees. The Catskills just on fire today, looking fantastic as Adam Klein working, busy hands, trying to get down, looking up into Kryptos now, the highest corner of consequence on our track. Big blind rise into a left-hander. Sean McAuliffe pulling away, headed to the braking zone for hairpin. And there's Cole Cognazi, current points leader for the member championship. Cole Cognazi has had a great season and the Bavarian M2 CSR. Matt and Stephanie still really working on it. Looking good out front. Alan Teo in clean air. Watching Sean McAuliffe, he's got a handful of Adam Klein, and he just can't shake Adam. Adam in the blue and red stripes there. Now we're back to the in-car. This is what Adam's seeing from right behind Sean McAuliffe as they go down into Montreal. You could throw a blanket over these two Porsches right now. Both these competitors working hard in the early stages. We're down to 15 minutes to go. It won't be long before we're at the halfway point. Look at that battle for fourth place. Alan Teo is all too happy to let those two duke it out while he continues to open the gap on both of those Porsches. Teo in that fantastic McLaren Artura. As Lou Janello enters the pits, it appears Lou Janello's race is over as well. Rudy Pistoli also in the pits. Attrition taking its toll on this October afternoon at Monticello. And there comes Johnny Kaminsky. He's as regular as taxes, and he's always out front, headed down into turn 1. Johnny has a straightaways worth of lead on second place. He makes it look so easy. There's John Marcado coming onto the South Straight under the bridge, also having a fantastic race. Marcado running in 21st place. His last lap was a 2:43.748. Let's check the top of the board. The best lap on the board right now belongs to your pole sitter, Stephanie Herfield, a 2:27.262 in that 48 Evo. Big, gnarly Ferrari Challenge car. She's coming around our karting facility. She's probably waving to Mike Poe. He's got all the kiddos out there in the little Sodi carts, changing lives one day at a time in those carts. Mike Poe is the first step on the driver ladder. If you want to do teen camp, if you want to come up through the ranks like Johnny Kaminsky, it all starts in a cart at our karting facility. Oh, and we're back. Had to pause for station identification there. It's the Monticello Motor Club Network. Watch the Ferraris heading up through the S's into the carousel as Johnny rounds the hairpin one more time. 12 minutes to go. We're past halfway. Melissa Barthelms with a brand new engine in that yellow Cayman, running a strong 9th place right now. Looking really good in Class R2. Your leader in R2 is Alex Panlilio, followed by Alan Teo and Sean McAuliffe. Adam Klein's also there, and Charlie Craig. And then there's Melissa, running in 9th overall. Your leader, Stephanie Herfield, in Class R1. And you got Cole Cognazzi leading Class R4. I'm sorry, I checked that. I think that's R3 in the 7th position, number 39. What a fantastic day. Look at those trees. This drone shot is fantastic, showing all the colors of the pristine landscaping around Monticello Motor Club. And there's Alan Teo. You can barely see him. He's camouflage. I mean, from a distance, his car's invisible. As Stephanie rounds turn number 1. Old turn number 1, that is. And there you see Steve Jardine, also lovingly known as Patches. Patches leading his Toyota onto the front straight. He's got all the stickers in the world on that thing. There he comes, under the bridge, in his BRZ. Leaders are through Montreal. Stephanie continues to be out front. Matt has closed the gap down now. He's 0.4 of a second behind, but he cannot get around her. Catching her and passing her are two entirely different things, as Matt is figuring out. Trailing his wife and cannot get around her. Stephanie Herfield is quick. in her first race. And there's little Steve Jardine out front with 2 fire-breathing Ferraris coming right behind him. He stays wide and lets Stephanie through, not wanting to be a back marker in trouble. And Matt takes a wide line through Pine Tree. That is a tough line for Matt. He makes it stick, though, with all the grip and those slicks, as that mighty Ferrari turns in and gets it done and turns onto the straightaway. Patches takes the pass from all 4 cars, and they are through and away as Stephanie leads them into the braking zone once again. Only 9 minutes left in this race. 9 minutes to go. Johnny Kaminsky still out front of Class R4, followed by Owen Barthelms and Luigi. Manny T running 18th overall and 4th in class. And then there's Brent Coakley. That kid only knows how to win also at the top of Class R5. Brent turning in a characteristically amazing, reliable race. Brent Coakley in the red and black lung machine looking good. Watch these Ferraris bunch up, and now all of a sudden Alan Teo is right there with the Ferraris. Thanks to the back markers, Stephanie and Matt now have to worry a little bit more about Alan Teo and that rocket ship McLaren in a straight line. Let's see if Alan Teo's got anything for the husband and wife as they come onto the front straight and head down by the clubhouse. Cars coming under the bridge. I want to see the gap here as these 2 Ferraris head down this main straight. Here they come. They've cleared the traffic, and Alan Teo is still pretty close, but Teo's gotten around Alex Panlilio in the mighty orange Ginetta, so Panlilio drops a spot as Alan Teo picks up the pace and gets around that Ginetta. Alan Teo hosting a fantastic party over on Serenity Lane along with Mike Watkins for all the members tonight. If you're close by and you're a member, come on out. We're going to have a great time on Serenity Lane after the trophy ceremony at the end of the day. There's Ivan Brightly. He's up next. Ivan Brightly now has a mirror full of Stephanie Herfield in that 488. Alan Teo gets around Matt Herfield. He splits the husband and wife and now has Stephanie in his sights. Can he get around our pole sitter and race leader since the green flag dropped? Alan Teo looks like he might have the stuff. He is feeling racy in that camouflage McLaren. I think maybe Stephanie can't even see him. The camouflage might be throwing her off. Camouflage race car. It's brilliant. Alan Teo, an accomplished driver, very skilled. Definitely not his first race. And that McLaren is hooked up and has a ton of torque. Let's check out Kryptos as the leaders come through. Wow, Teo has dispatched Stephanie and now will be the overall leader when he comes around the bridge this time. Matt and Stephanie could not hold off the mighty McLaren, and Alan Teo is setting sail, opening a gap, is out front of this race for the first time with only 5.5 minutes left. He's around the double left-hander, coming around that beautiful karting complex. My goodness, what views are we getting today out of that drone? Thanks to Chris Chapala and his team for the drone work. Alan Teo making the left-hander onto the straightaway, now about to take the start-finish line as the overall leader for the first time today. Alan Teo out front. Stephanie Herfield in second, Matt Herfield in third, and Alex Panlilio in fourth. Sean McAuliffe going to be giving Alex all he can handle here very soon. Panlilio looking at Matt Herfield, trying to get that Big Orange Janetta around that Ferrari. Herfield taking a look inside of Stephanie there, trying to see if he could get around her. We've got a lot of racing action in this front pack, you guys. This thing is not settled yet. With 4 minutes to go, we've got about 2 laps left in this race. Adam Klein right behind Mike Leo, and now passing Mike Leo on the outside as he heads into Pine Tree. He's got to get it slowed down to make that right-hander, and he does. There's the senior Barthelms in that ND2. Mr. Barthelms having a great race today. All the Barthelms, by the way, are having a pretty great race. Melissa looking great. And Owen also turning in a great race as John Marcato makes the hairpin and Alan Teo continues to pull away. Alan Teo now with a 2-second lead, 2.9 seconds, in fact, of the second place car of Stephanie Herfield. Did not take long for Alan to break contact from those Ferraris once he got around them. And up next for Alan Teo, John Marcato and his blue and yellow Miata. There comes John under the bridge, being tracked down by your overall race leader, Alan Teo. And then there, about 3 seconds behind, a little more than 3 seconds, are the mighty Ferrari 488s of the husband and wife duo of Matt and Stephanie Herfield. These storylines just write themselves at this magical motorsports mecca here in the Catskills, Monticello Motor Club. If you want to be fast like Alan Teo, you need to consider booking a professional driving instructor with Monticello Motor Club. We have over 47 different instructors to pick from on the staff, and we are standing by to help you get better, quicker, and safer behind the wheel. Call Concierge today to book your instructor on your next visit at Monticello. Alan Teo just getting faster and faster. Stephanie puts up a 2:27.2. And then Alan puts up a 2:27.1. Everybody going faster. Johnny Kaminsky still easily out front. Nobody even in sight of the youngster, the youngest Kaminsky son. Having a great day. Having a great season in Ferrari Challenge. Has driven everything that burns gas out here at Monticello. Came up through the ranks from karting to teen camp to member challenge races. Still doesn't even have a driver's license yet. Can you believe it, ladies and gentlemen? We are a minute left to go in this race. This race will be over before you know it, kids. Big group of cars, including Brent Coakley, right in front of Alan Teo. We should be getting the 1 to go this time by. Or it might be checkers, actually. We're on the white flag lap right now. Alan Teo out front. These Ferraris are not going to be able to get around him, I don't think. But they are definitely trying. It's checker flag next time by. We're on the white flag lap right now as Alan Teo works his way around the S's and begins the last straightaway headed down to our start-finish line, looking for the checkers. The crowd is on its feet. Checkered flag this time by. And Alan Teo takes the win, followed by Stephanie Herfield and Matt Herfield and Alex Panlilio. And then Sean McAuliffe and Adam Klein, Cole Cognazi, Melissa Barthelms, Charlie Craig, and Dan Feldstein rounds out the top 10. What a race. What a clean race. What a safe race. Testament to these drivers and our track safety crew. Fantastic day of racing so far. We've got one race to go coming up in about an hour, so stay tuned, folks. Join us back here on the Monticello Motor Club Racing Network for race number 2, the final race of the day, followed up by our trophy ceremony in the gallery with cocktails and appetizers. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back in an hour with the final race of the day.